Hello everyone, this is Taryn with Wonderfully Made Handcrafting, and today I'm working on day 8 of By the Wall for God's But God devotional. Now this was written by Judy Allen, and in today's devotional she's talking about all the different instances where God remembered someone. And specifically we're talking about how God remembered Noah in Genesis 8:1, and we're talking about that word remembered and how in Hebrew it's zikar, which means to remember, but it also has much more of a deeper definition, and it means to bring someone to mind and then act on that. And so Judy says that zikar then is as much a direct action as it is a mental exercise. So my page next to Genesis 8 was already filled, and so there were so many other verses that Judy added to the end of this devotional that we could look at and learn from. And so I chose Exodus 2:24, which is talking about the Israelites and how they're groaning. And it says, "And God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. God saw the people of Israel, and God knew." And so I just thought that was a perfect verse also to use in this devotional day. And so I'm still using that little flashcard that has Genesis 8:1 so I can refer back to that. But that is where I am journaling in today. So I decided for this page I was going to go back to my love for all things vintage and used a vintage doily from A House of Books, and I'm using that as the base of this cluster that I'm creating. I also used the definition of zikar and typed that out on my typewriter on one of those little labels and made that a little part to poke out behind the flashcard. And now I'm working on this background. I'm using frayed burlap. I use some mint tape to cover up the side that has all the verses on it. That way I don't get any, brush strokes on that side. I like my lines to be as clean as possible usually. And now I'm just trying to figure out where exactly I want this cluster and how I want to add some more to the background. So I take out this new stamp from Tim Holtz, and I decide to use some Distress Oxide, also in frayed burlap, and kind of stamp it down, not necessarily to get a great impression, but more so just to add some texture. If I really wanted a great impression, I would have used a stamp block and maybe some VersaFine ink, because this is a super detailed floral stamp, but I just basically wanted some texture in the background. You can tell that it's florals in some areas when you look, but this is just kind of what I was going for. I also sprayed some water down so I can distress that edge or the paper up a little bit, and I'll add some nice kind of watermarks around the background. And I want to make sure that it's good and dry before I start working on this cluster. And I'm kind of in a standstill here because I'm not sure exactly how I want to elevate this cluster and make it just a little bit more. So I end up taking out these envelopes that I have because they remind me of remembering someone. When my husband and I were dating, we dated long distance a lot, and so we ended up writing letters back and forth, and that was just to remind one another that we were thinking of one another. And so I thought that would be a fun little thought process as I was adding this into the page, that God remembers us, that he has written the most beautiful love letter to us in the Bible, but I just wanted to remember that. But I didn't like necessarily that red postage stamp right there, so I covered it up with another postage stamp that I have that was also green, and that made it not so like stick out in your face kind of. It kind of matched the florals, but it was just a little bit too off. So I really liked how that green kind of made it more of a background element more than, right in your face kind of thing. So I am deciding how I want that all laid down, and then I will start gluing this cluster together. I tried to make sure that none of the glue is going to ooze out behind the doily, so I'm putting the envelope down first and kind of gluing stuff onto that as need be. I will pull this red postage stamp off and use it at another time, and then I'm sticking this other one down. Now completely different countries of postage stamp, but it doesn't really bother me that much. One is obviously American, and the other one, I'm not sure if it's Greece or Turkey, but somewhere over there, it's what seems like this postage stamp is. Let me know if you know what it's from, because that would be interesting to know. But anyways, I am gluing this all down, and then I'm also going to add some aged Scotch tape. My friend Lindsay showed me this first, and since then I've actually seen it a lot of different places on YouTube. But I just take some Scotch tape and then use some alcohol ink and age that. I really like this ginger color that I have. It's a nice aged kind of yellowish orange color. And so I'm going to just kind of put that down and blow it around a little bit so it covers everything. And that way I have some aged tape to add to the envelope. It looks like there was some tape marks already there, but you know, they got removed in the age. So I'm just re-adding those to the edges a little bit, and just to add another little element to this cluster. Now that I have both pieces of tape down, I'll work on the background. I still want to add some more pinks to that background. I don't want it to be so flat in color, since there is so much pink in the florals. And so I grab some Distress Oxide spray in Tattered Rose, and also some Dina Wakley gloss spray in this nice candy kind of pink color. And I'm just going to kind of plop those around and spritz them just with my finger tapping on the nozzle, and that will give me some bigger drops and some littler drops. Now the Dina Wakley gloss sprays dry with a nice glossy finish, as their name is, and then the Distress Oxide kind of just melt into the background. So they have two different looks, and you can see two different colors in the background, at least when you see it in person. So now I am just going to glue this down to the background now that everything is dry. I will take that mint tape off the gutter and add my date stamp to this page, and then this page will be complete. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me over on Instagram at Wonderfully Made Handcrafting. I'll try to link everything I use down below in the description. And make sure you follow me on Instagram, because the new kit from By the Wall for God is releasing this Thursday. So make sure you follow me over there. I have my affiliate links down below in the description if you ever want to use those. Thank you so much for all you that do. And I hope you have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.